If you like my dad's videos, please subscribe to QA Insights channel.
In this episode 75 of Learn JMeter series, today we are going to talk about JMeter upgrade strategy. I have seen many people who are still using the older versions of JMeter. I have seen 3.0, 4.0, etc., which got released almost a decade back. So what are they missing? So why you should upgrade? So there is a reason of each release, right? Because the newer release is better than the older release in terms of new features, security fixes, and the performance improvements. So if you are not upgrading to the latest version, then you are missing these entities. And you will spend more time while developing scripts, where in the newer features, it will take only a couple of minutes instead of a couple of hours, where you have to write a lot of code to maintain your business scenarios. So why leaders are so reluctant? There might be a couple of reasons. Again, it depends on the project and the company you are working, but mainly I have seen the legacy in nature. So legacy means I'm not talking about the old scripts or old applications. Basically, they cannot get rid of, or it might not evolve in their organization. So they don't want to touch the scripts. So that is why they don't want to cause any problem, because it's already working fine. Then why I should upgrade and make something bad out of it, right? And they will always think about the breaking changes. So what will happen if the upgrade breaks my pipeline or scripts? And I have seen people like they are so apathetic. Sorry for my word here, but I have seen really they don't know what's going on within the organization, what tools engineers are using. So sometimes they are slow, and they don't really care about the newer version. One instance is the recent Log4j. So think about if you are using 3.0 or 4.0, you have to upgrade. You must upgrade to the latest version. Otherwise, your systems, your host machines instances are under vulnerability or under attack, potential attack. So you don't want that. Don't postpone the releases. I have seen many organizations, they postpone releases, upgrades 2 to 3 years down the line. Basically, current version minus 2 to 3 major version. So for example, if it is JMeter 5.4.3, then they will have a strategy, okay, let us use only JMeter 4.0. So that is not at all right way to do that. So they need to change. And this video will helpful to upgrade. So I will tell you what kind of a pattern you can follow to upgrade smoothly. So before you upgrade, make sure you are leveraging the GitLab or GitHub, whatever it is. Put everything in Git, so that you can go back. It's like a time capsule, right? You can go back and forth. Even if something breaks, you can go to the working state. And if you are not using Git, then you have to take a backup of test plan, test data, mainly jar files, versions, plugins. Third-party plugins are very important in maintaining and upgrading your JMeter. Mainly the version. Some of the plugins might be outdated or might not be available in the plugin manager repository. So you need to take care of the plugins as well. And properties. So some of the properties, you might be using some custom properties. So again, if you lose it, then gone. So you have to spend time on troubleshooting them. So take care of the properties, system.properties, result.properties. So whatever the properties you are using, just to take a backup that as well. And certificates and credentials. You might be using something like a mutual authentication or some sort of certificate for authentication purpose. So you have to take the certificates and its credentials. So these are the things you need to take a backup. So there are a couple of backup strategies available, like 3-2, 3-1, where you will have at least 3 copies of data in the cloud, and then in various form of disk locally. So something you can follow based on your organization security practice. And make sure you are taking the backup weekly or monthly, whatever the strategy is, but take care of all the backups with respect to JMeter and its entities. And before you upgrade, I urge you to read the release notes. So every release comes with the change log. So you have to go through each new features, enhancements, bug fixes, and make sure is there any breaking changes are there. Sometimes Groovy might be upgrading to the latest version where you might be using the older versions of Groovy. Then your script might break. So you have to take care of that. And new features. So look out for the new features. If there's a new feature which is getting caught your attention, then implement that so that you can save some time. So these are the things you need to take care before you upgrade. And once you are crossed this stage, what you have to do is download and extract the newer version of JMeter to your local machine. Launch JMeter and open the test plan using the vanilla JMeter setup. No plugins, no special entities. Just open vanilla JMeter and try to smoke test. If everything works fine, then you don't have any dependencies. Make sure you are testing all the scripts. If possible, run a load test. But make sure your script is working fine in the newer version. And repeat this in your CI/CD pipeline or cloud setup or remote load generator, whatever it is. Just repeat this and make sure you are good with respect to the upgrade. But most of the time, you will face issues. So issues, there are two kinds of issues. One is not able to open. So this is the major issues you will see whenever you upgrade to the newer version of JMeter. I'm talking about the major version. Minor version, you don't see this kind of not able to open kind of issues. If you're not able to open, mainly there are a couple of reasons. One is the your script might be using the plugins, or it depends on the third-party jars or in-house developed jars. So take care of these two and open your old script in your older version of JMeter and see the setup, and make sure you copy and paste the right relevant jars and plugins. Then if you're not able to troubleshoot, open the log file, jmeter.log, and see what's going on in each line. You will get an idea. Okay, now let us talk about if you're able to open your script, but it is not working as intended, it is failing. So there might be again a couple of reasons. One is the jar file. So make sure you have the relevant jars in the proper places, and check the properties file. So navigate to the user.properties, result.properties or JMeter.properties, and make sure everything is properly set or not. Ideally, you should not touch the JMeter.properties. You should always make use of the user.properties. And look out for the result.properties or whatever, again, custom properties file you are using. So make sure you are using the identical files. And again, check for the certificates and credentials and also plugins. So you have to make sure you are using the identical jars, certificates, properties, but do not touch the JMeter core properties in the newer version. So you have to only check the your script related entities, not the JMeter related entities, and check for any breaking changes, and also check the log file. In many cases, you will be able to solve the issue, and in few cases, you might be need to debug the Groovy or whatever the scripting language you are using. You need to debug that. So these are the things you will face when it comes to upgrade. So what is the strategy behind this? So to optimize this process, what you can do? So you have to work as a team. So that is the first point I would like to bring here. Think about the log4shell incident. Suddenly you need to upgrade and you need to validate and you need to give a sign off to the security team. So you don't have much time. So you will not be able to work in all the scripts, right? So you need to depend on your team collaboration. So every member has to take a set of scripts and they have to upgrade, they have to run the test, and they have to give a sign off. So divide and conquer. So this is the strategy you need to follow so that everybody can work on a single goal so that it can be completed pretty quick. And automate. So automate using bash, as simple as the bash script, or if you are using something very sophisticated, you can automate using Terraform or Ansible, whatever the tool your organization is using. So if you're automating, again, you will save a lot of time. Again, I'm quoting the log4shell. So log4shell, again, you don't need to take care of the manually downloading and extracting. you can use the simple automation. Or if you're using some Docker container or Docker image, again, pack the Docker image with the right version and build the image and make use of it. And always based in the performance. So before you start upgrading, definitely you would have the performance with respect to the older version, and run it with the newer version and see there should be a negligible performance. Don't if there is a 2 to 3 seconds or 1 second or 500 milliseconds difference, then you need to definitely check the any open issues are there with respect to JMeter. So differences will be very negligible, like 2 to 3 milliseconds or 10 milliseconds, like that. So based on the performance, and always have a deploy the upgrade plan. So always go with some kind of a plan, like say every major release, but don't put on hold for a couple of years or 1 year. At least for every 6 months, revise the new features and adopt the changes. Change is inevitable. So you cannot postpone forever. So you have to do it. And if there is any critical fixes, so your action should be immediate, like log4shell. Or every quarter revisit the toolset ecosystem, or every 6 months or every 1 year at least, so that you will be always have some room to make use of the new features, and also you will save a lot of time, and then you will have some hassle-free cycle. Otherwise, in last minute, everything will fall apart. So you don't want that. So these are the strategies you can deploy in your organization. And if you follow this, definitely you will be able to run your JMeter upgrade cycle as smooth as possible. So thank you for watching and have a good day.
If you like my dad's videos, please subscribe to QA Insights channel.